The VINCUE appraisal number generally comes out higher. Like I can put more money into this car and then I can price it higher and retain gross than I can if I use the data that's inside of Viato. So I sold clothing at Buckle when I was in college. That's where I got my start selling things, and got offered a job right out of college, right before I graduated. My parents and I had some fun times. I got kicked out of the house. I was like, I gotta find a job, gotta make money, and what better place to do it than the car business is what they told me, anyways. I did well in sales. I definitely have a knack for it. I love word tracks. It was always kind of my thing. Buckle helped foster that, which was great. And then I came into the car business. It was a great fit. Did sales for about 18 months. I came from a leadership role in Buckle. And so I kind of had made the point that there's a lot of stuff I could sink my teeth into from a management side of things, namely with training. That's always been my thing, especially 10 years ago. There just wasn't a ton at my dealership. There still is a lot of rough patches without training material or good implementation of training. And I was like, hey, there's an opportunity. I know I'm new to the business, but I think I have a lot to offer from that point of view. Give me a chance. So got through the whole interview process, got promoted to sales manager. Then I got promoted to general sales manager in 2019. Just like everybody else, had a lot of wild success during COVID. It was great. And then I got promoted to sales director for our store. We've got technically three rooftops. And so I'm over top of those as of about a year and a half ago. So it's been a great journey the last 10 years. We started using VINCUE probably 2 years ago at one of Glenn Lundy's retreats. Danny had been talking about a tool called Boost that you guys were launching or going to launch. And it was that, along with like the idea of like constantly coming up with new things. I was like, you know what? We're coming out of COVID. Something's got to change. Volume's the play, efficient volume. It's like, I think you can get lost there a little bit, but volume's the play for me. And I want the best tool to make that happen. And so being able to kind of take a bunch of little tools, combine them into one with VINCUE, and know that, yeah, some stuff won't work, I'm sure. Other stuff's going to be amazing, but we're constantly going to be innovating. For me, was just like, it just aligned really well with my personality. So why wouldn't I sign up? My owner is a big Viato guy. We piloted Viato 30 years. When it first came out, we were a pilot store. So always just been into technology. And it's funny watching him be like, yeah, but it doesn't look like my 90s screen, you know what I mean, anymore. And so like, there was definitely a transition period with the dealership. Everybody was great as far as like helping my team get trained up and learn. And it's basically like going from Windows 99 to an iPhone. And like that transition is like, it's overwhelming a little bit in the beginning. And so like the team was great, just getting everybody on board. I have a unique perspective because I use Viato in the other store, and it's a smaller store. I get to use the tools side by side. And what I'm finding is I will appraise a car in VINCUE versus Viato, and we're 15 miles away. So theoretically, the data should be comparable. The VINCUE appraisal number generally comes out higher. Like I can put more money into this car, and then I can price it higher and retain gross than I can if I use the data that's inside of Viato, which seems wild to me. And so at first I'm like, okay, well, if that's the case, maybe there's too much data in VINCUE, or I've been going back and forth trying to figure it out. And a couple times now on like bread and butter type of stuff, like, Chevy dealerships. So Equinoxes, Silverado 2FLs, things that are like high, fast moving cars. I will literally compare the two side by side and watch how quickly they move. And I'll sell the car at a higher price in the Jackson location under VINCUE than I will sell it and retain it in Viato, which is just like, it's a super weird thing to watch side by side, but like, and we use a couple of different tools like Boost. So that could be part of it. But sure. Basically what it's telling me is that like, if I don't appraise a car in VINCUE, I'm leaving money on the table as far as the appraisal goes. And I'm probably leaving money on the table as far as pricing goes. It's not the most scientific approach to it because there are so many differences between the stores, but we're 15 miles away. I should be able to sell the car for the same amount of money in both locations. And you know, it doesn't happen that way. I'll swap inventory between the two. It's like I have two buyers who buy the same. It's the same buying strategy, same type of thing. But what I think I lose deals in the other store a little bit because we're not putting enough money into cars, because we're not sure that we can price them high enough or to make enough money to make it make sense. And I think using the tool like Boost inside of VINCUE, coupled with our social media presence at the other store, but I know that if I compare the two appraisals, my appraisal's lower in Viato, higher in VINCUE, and my average front gross is higher in my Jackson store across the board. We have cars that, like, I know no matter what, I'm going to sell this car and I'm going to sell it within 20 to 22 days. And then I have cars where I'm like, hey, I need to be a little bit more aggressive on this. I need to move it a little bit faster. And so I'm adjusting that spend based on that car, and almost always you find that, like, you make that adjustment inside a Boost and that car sells. Now, it's always like, all right, was it the price change? Was it the attention on social media? Like, what was it? It's hard to pin that down with car sales, but at the end of the day, it helps me get very granular on things that aren't moving as fast as maybe some other stuff.